What do you think? What's going on with Kanye? What do you? I mean, he said a lot of different things, but why was this the tipping point? What do you think about what's going on with him?
Well, you know what? I mean, again, getting into mental illness, I don't excuse behavior for mental illness, and I'm a Jew. But as a Jew, I don't want to make this only about Jews because I think this country is becoming so polarized with everything. And anytime someone speaks like this, everybody should speak up, whether it's about Muslims, whether it's about police officers. It's all the same stuff. And so what do I think is going on with Kanye? I think he's having some type of bipolar episode, but who gives a shit? It's like, and again, somehow this became a free speech issue. Speak all you want, and everybody else should speak also, and I should have the right to not buy your fucking crappy sneakers and do whatever else. But it's sad to see, because what happens is, and I see it, I have a lot of friends who are police officers in LA, and there's real world consequences to this stuff. Kids get threatened at schools, and some guy walking down the street gets punched in the face, and Nazis are on the 405. So again, though, just separating it from, because I don't want to just make it all about his comments about Jews. It's just, like we're in this place right now, in this state where everybody wants to make the groups even worse. And I swear to you, it's so nuts that 10 years ago, I thought my kids were going to be in a colorblind world. I really was stupid enough to believe that. And the last 3 years, we have gone backwards in ways that is quite frightening.
You think so? You
yeah.
Think so?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me why. How did we get there?
I think the media. You watch both sides of it. I mean, CNN will put every single day how racist the country is, how awful cops are. And, of course there are bad cops. There's bad everything. There's bad football players like Antonio Brown, I mean, there's just bad people everywhere. So, and then Fox on the other side, they put Kanye on, they cut out all his anti-Semitic comments. And then, I posted on Instagram, I really didn't think there was going to be any other side to this conversation. I just thought, I just said, everybody unite. We shouldn't speak badly about any groups, not Indians, not police, not, whatever. And all of a sudden I'm getting this, you're a censorship guy, you're a this, and I'm far from a censorship guy. I mean, I'm interested to see what happens with Ellin and Twitter. But I believe in free speech, and it's just sad to see a guy with his platform speak like this and endanger so many people, and for what? What does he get out of it? I don't know.
Do you think the repercussions he got, Adidas cuts ties, okay, that costs him a couple $1 billion. Balenciaga cuts ties. Vogue, Anna Wintour cuts ties. Drop by CAA, drop by his lawyers, all these Spotify their downloads are decreasing, and Spotify hasn't made a decision to drop him yet. They're thinking about keeping him, just like they kept Rogan when Rogan everybody wanted him to be canceled. Restricted from Instagram and Twitter. Stadium shows canceled. Documentaries shelved. $120 million of cash left. Yesterday he said he's lost everything, and his net worth dropped $2 billion in a day.
Yeah.
What was the tipping point? Because he said stuff he wore the White Lives Matter. That drove a lot of people insane when he wrote that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
What was the tipping point?
Well, everybody's going to say it's the Jews and we control everything, and that's what happened. So, I don't know what the tipping point is, and I don't believe he's got any financial problems and anytime soon. But
you're not thinking about like doing a GoFundMe for the guy.
I'm not.
Just thinking if you want to come up with the idea.
I paid him. Kanye was on Entourage. I paid him like $1,100, so he probably still has that in his.
That's all you had to pay him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, they called us to be on the show, so that was how it worked with all our cameos. They came on. So,
but everybody wanted to be on. Like that was the show to be on.
Yeah,
people probably would have done it for free to be on the show.
Well, the only reason we paid whatever we paid is SAG.
SAG.
But I mean, first year it was impossible to get anybody. Mark Wahlberg. I didn't know if Mark was going to show up for his cameo in the first episode. I remember,
and he was the executive producer. Yeah,
and I was like, Mark, are you coming? Are you this?
Busy. You got $1,100 for me, Doug?
That's how unsure we were when we started, and then by season 2, people started calling us. But with Kanye, look, it's a long road, and we'll see how long this lasts or whatever. And again, I'm not trying to keep the guy down. He's an incredible talent. and I don't want to just see him come out and go, oh, I'm sorry, I'd like to get my money back. And I just, you want to see someone be educated and understand how dangerous it is to lump people into groups and any groups. He's got problems with, some Jewish music executives. I'm sure there's a million people who do. But when he talks about controlling the media, Rupert Murdoch is the biggest guy in the media by a million fucking miles. He's not Jewish. And you don't normally say, you don't hear, oh, you had a bad interaction with this Catholic guy. You don't go, these fucking Catholics are killing us. I mean, I don't know what they're doing to us. So
exactly.
It's sadly, and why it's so scary for Jewish people is we're such a small group. And somehow it always comes back. And I've been saying it for years. You'll see eventually the right and the left somehow comes together and goes against us. And again, I really don't want to make it just about his Jewish comments. I think people speaking hate about any groups, speak out against it. I'm not saying he should be off Twitter. I'm not saying he should be off Instagram or anything else, but I'm not going to go see his concerts, and I have before.
I think it all started going downhill when Trump was in and he started wearing the MAGA hat, and that's where all the publicity and everything came in. But what makes it weird is that you don't see I've never seen somebody so influential, a billionaire person with such a platform that has a mental illness that people like TMZ, everybody, they just want to see him and hear him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're just like, put him in front more and more and more and more. If you go on TMZ right now, it's just him.
Yeah, well, everybody will put him on. Would you put him on?
Who, him?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, and I'd put him on. I'd put him on our podcast if he wanted to come on. I won't give him a bag, but
no bags.
The biggest thing is guys have made comments before, anti-Semitic comments before. So for me, when you hear comments being made, and you sit there and you watch it, you're like, okay, Jimmy Kimmel still's got a show. And back in the days, hey, he dressed
blackface.
Howard Stern is a rock star. And you want to see what Howard Stern did one time as a skit years ago?
Yeah, he had blackface.
He's still got a $600 million whatever his massive contract. So there's the hypocrisy is what's the most annoying thing.
I do think it's times, and I'm never going to say blackface is okay or something, but I can tell you when I was a kid and I never put on blackface, there's no pictures of me. I wanted to be Eddie Murphy so badly when I was a child that I would dress up as buckwheat for Halloween. Now, I did not do blackface, but I can tell you when I was a 12-year-old kid, I had no idea that this would offend people. And Howard Stern, again, I'm not going to defend Howard Stern, but Robin has been his partner for 30, 40 years, and I think Howard Stern is a liberal. So part of it is, whether you're doing art, whether it's good art, bad art, that's a whole different issue than when you as a person go, I have a problem with this group of people. I have a problem with Indians,
What are you
Muslims.
talking about? The last 3 years, everybody's talking about they got a problem with white people. I mean, they're not being canceled.
Yeah.
You got people talking about they got problems with white this and, all these. And I'm not even white. I'm Iranian. I'm in the middle. I'm not black. I'm not white. I'm probably the one that gets targeted more, being a guy born and raised in Iran. But you hear these comments being made about whites. It's totally fine. But you hear the comments being made about the other side. Oh, my God. So I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying I actually didn't make the comment about Kimmel about him getting canceled. I don't think he needs to get canceled. I don't think Howard needs to get canceled. I'm glad Rogan didn't get canceled. They almost tried to get that guy to get canceled. And Spotify stood behind him, and then eventually they didn't. So with Kanye here, he's pushing the envelope extremely. Like to say a comment, what was the comment he used? He says, I'm going to go
DEFCON 3.
DEFCON 3. I mean, that's not.
You can't do that kind of shit.
No, you can't. No. But by the way, the way you handle that is the way Musk handled it. And he called him. He says, hey, what are you doing? Yeah. And they had a conversation. I just had a conversation with Kanye. He seems sincere, and he's going to work on this area. And boom, he kept him on.
But he got worse. I mean, he got worse. He goes on everything and says worse stuff. And again, I'm not suggesting who should cancel. And the question is, which I was talking to some friends last night about it. I mean, Adidas, the company is falling apart as is, and this was an enormous financial loss for them. So I'm sure, forgetting their Nazi past, which they have, which is
the founders
to me is somewhat irrelevant, because it's I don't believe in the sins of your father should be on this, but I'm sure there were terrifying discussions inside this company, and people who are going to lose their jobs, and people who have to feed their families and all that stuff. So it's hard for me to just go, put myself in a position of, oh, you know what, I can make $100 million today with Kanye, or I can just go, you know what, I'm going to make a stand. But I'm glad that they did, and I don't think that's cancel culture. I think that's going, I don't want you out in front of my company spewing this nonsense and this garbage. Right. And again, I don't, and I understand as an Iranian what you're saying, but the sad thing is with with all the comments when they come after white people, and Howard Stern, who is one of my favorites. I mean, Howard, he used to have Daniel Carver on, the racist, and the Jews were always the lowest group. We were below everybody. So the weird thing is we kind of look like we're white, but then we're not really. So we get into this group where everybody comes after us, and but again, I'm just trying to say, as corny as it sounds, it's like enough grouping any group together. You have a problem with a Jewish guy or an Iranian guy, that's your problem with him.
100%.
And that's it.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.